UFC Qatar has officially come to an end, and wow, what a night it was. The event lived up to every ounce of hype, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. The main attraction, Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker, turned into a war that had the whole MMA world buzzing. Now, let's dive into how some of the biggest names in the sport reacted to this incredible showdown.
Whoa. Come on, relax, boys. Relax.
Dude, that's just childish. You're meant to be a champion in this sport. Look at me. You're meant to be a champion in this sport. Your friend just won. Don't ruin his victory. Arman, congratulations. I went up to Tsarukyan. I congratulated him. I went up to Kamzat. I said, hey, champ, what's up? When are we going to see you back? He goes, I don't know, brother. Whenever. Smash. All right, cool. Sweet. Slaps me on the back. I'm like, all right, cool. Security guy gets in front of us. I'm like, we literally were just cool with each other. He's not going to fight me. And then that childish energy comes out. Yeah, you, brother. You. Boom. Tries to push me. I just turned around and went, you're meant to be a champion of this sport. You're a child. You're taken away from your friend's win over here. How about you calm down, slow down, and have a bit of respect for your friend over here rather than trying to steal the headlines. Do you want the honest truth? It's little dick energy. I need to show the world I'm tough. I need to show you're the champion of the world. No one needs to see you be tough. You don't need to have these anger management issues. Just be a man. Sorry. I'll get him one day. We're all going to try grab a hold of my legs. Born little. I'm not going to get. Don't get me started.
That's it. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. That was a great performance.
Wow, great fight by Arman Tsarukyan.
He's going head and arm. One of his best moves, head and arm choke. And it's deep. God, that's GG's. That is GG's, I think. Oh, God, look at his head. Not good. Not good. Tsarukyan's a fucking beast. Wow.
Performance was crazy like what I said. I knew it's gonna be finished, but I wanted to wait to don't say that. But I will try. I like it, like we accepted, you know. So Arman is the best, so he's the number one. He's the champion. He's the athlete. So I believe this guy is one of the best of the fighters in the world. He has to fight for them.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. This is actually a gift from the gods for the UFC. Like, this has all worked out so perfectly for them because, look, Ilya hasn't fought since June. He should be ready to go. Paddy very clearly is ready to go. He hasn't fought since April, his win over Michael Chandler. The best way, we continue to say, of the people available, the best way to debut the Paramount Plus era in 2026, first show of 2026, rumored to be at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, January 24th. I'm calling it a PLE numbered event. You know, they're going to keep those, title fights on the number of events we suspect. The best way to start this is Ilya versus Paddy. You just had Arman win, look good. He's now the number one guy. He's waiting in the wings. You bring him out there, and yet you keep this train rolling along. I'm sorry, there is zero momentum towards a Justin Gaethje title fight against Ilia Topuria. And now that Arman did what he did, I think he completely knocked Justin out of the way. There is zero interest, zero momentum. I would sign up for Arman versus Ilya right now. But I think you have Paddy there. You want to strike while the iron is hot. He's ready to go. He hasn't fought since April. It's going to be almost a year since his last fight by the time this January date comes along. Do Ilya versus Paddy. You saw the little run-in. You see the animosity there. Do that in January. Have Arman in the front row. He fights the winner. And now the lightweight division is back rolling like it was when Islam was.
You didn't take a lot of damage tonight. Is there a chance if they said to you, hey, you can fight for the belt, but it has to be in January, could you turn around that fast?
Of course. I can rest 1 week, fly to US and stay there 2 months. It's enough time to get ready. And I didn't get any injured, thank God. And they have to say that. And hopefully on Tuesday they announced that fight, and me fighting main event with Topuria when it's gonna be in Vegas or in Los Angeles. So I'm ready. I gotta take that chance, and I have pretty time to get ready.
Are you a little bit disappointed that this week Ilya didn't seem to want to have anything to do with you?
I mean, I didn't want to mention too much Ilya because I was focused on my fight. But after today, I'm gonna try to again create some crazy videos that are gonna be viral and try to make a joke, you know, and to bring a lot of eyes for that fight, because it's like a media sport too, you know. You gotta be a good fighter and a good showman. Hopefully on Tuesday they announced that fight, and me fighting main event with Topuria when it's gonna be in Vegas or in Los Angeles. So I'm ready. I gotta take that chance, and I have pretty time to get ready. In my mind goes like I can strike with him on the long distance, but when he wants to try like to box me and throw his hard punch, at that moment I'm gonna shoot and take him down. So, and I believe myself, and I know I can beat him so easy as well.
Kamaru Usman broke down the fight between Arman Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker, pointing out how much it could influence Ilia Topuria's path moving forward. Usman explained that if Arman managed to grab a fast, dominant win, it would make Ilya's claim for a major matchup even stronger. He praised Arman's progress since his tough loss to Islam Makhachev, saying he's looked sharper, smarter, and more dangerous than ever. Usman added that it wouldn't shock him if Arman sealed the deal within just 2 rounds, given how locked in and confident he's been lately.
If Arman Tsarukyan goes out there and gets it done relatively quickly in impressive fashion, it helps the case of Ilya, you need to stay down. Let's defend this belt now because you are the champion here.
If he's able to rip the playbook off of what Islam was able to do, I will say Arman Tsarukyan within 2 rounds submission.
It's a tough one, but based on how Arman Tsarukyan has looked since the loss to Islam Makhachev, it's hard to believe that this man can't go out there and get the job.
Dan Hooker, on the other hand, came into UFC Qatar with one clear goal: to rise back into the mix of top contenders. He said that if he could beat Arman Tsarukyan, it would be the perfect chance to challenge Ilia Topuria next. Hooker pointed out that many fighters in the division seem to be avoiding Topuria, coming up with reasons or injuries to dodge the fight. But Hooker made it clear he wanted that smoke. He believed that beating Arman would catapult him from outside the top 5 straight into the conversation for the #1 spot, making it a massive career opportunity.
#1 contender that needs a win in the division, and that's why I chased this fight and I asked for this fight, and I nagged the UFC to give me this fight, is because I knew no one between myself and Arman Tsarukyan would want to fight Arman Tsarukyan, because they got a good excuse to avoid him. You know, he did pull out of that fight with the bad back, and so the champion and guys, the bigger name guys in the division like Gagey, they have a good excuse to not fight him. I believe it's because he is the most skillful fighter in the division, but these other guys have a good reason to not fight him, and I knew that with a win over Arman Tsarukyan, I get to jump the queue. I get to jump from outside the top 5 to the #1 contender in the division.
MMA Guru also shared his perspective on the matchup. Though he admitted that Dan Hooker has always been one of his favorite fighters, he leaned slightly toward Arman to get the win. Guru said fans shouldn't underestimate Hooker, especially since his fight with Mateusz Gamrot was razor close and could have gone either way. He added that if Gamrot had a bigger reputation, the judges might have scored things differently. Still, Guru gave Hooker a lot of credit for tightening up his takedown defense and showing a big improvement in how quickly he gets back to his feet, a sign that he's leveled up his all-around game.
Because one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. But I'm going to go with Arman Tsarukyan here over Dan Hooker. I do think Dan Hooker's being underrated here because even though people say, the Gamrot fight was a robbery, it was a close fight that could have gone either way, really. Do I think Gamrot could have won? And if Gamrot had Ov at the end of his name, he probably would have won based on the control time that he had. Let's just call it what it is. But Dan Hooker's really good at, like, stuffing He's a lot better at it than he was before when it comes to scrambling up from takedowns. But also with Gamrot,
MMA Guru went further, explaining that Arman becomes a whole different beast once he gets control on the ground. When he's on top, he doesn't just hold position, he makes it count. Guru reminded everyone that Hooker was stepping back in after dealing with a serious arm injury, though his reach, size, and knockout power still gave him a real shot to change the fight with one clean strike. Even so, Guru said Arman's striking has come a long way, and that he's good enough to stay out of danger, find his opening, and get the takedown when it matters. He predicted that Arman would likely wear Hooker down and end things with a dominant ground attack somewhere in the second or third round.
I think he's better at, like, implementing dominant positions on top, and Gamrot had them a lot on Dan Hooker in their fight, and Hooker just broke his arm again twice, right? 2 broken arms back to back. Coming back into this one, if he wins, you can think about a title shot maybe if he makes the right call out, and he's a big name and he's big and he's tall and he's got reach, and maybe he sets up the knee on Arman. And Arman has had some stinkers. Arman had the Joaquim Silva performance where it wasn't the best. He got wobbled. But I think he's going to be able to take down Dan Hooker. And I don't think he's as lost on the feet as we suggest. And I think he's actually going to finish him in round 2 or 3 from the mount with ground and pound. That's where I think Arman's better than Gamrot at with the grappling, is taking a dominant position and actually doing something with it. And even on Oliveira.
As for Arman Tsarukyan himself, he admitted before the fight that this matchup carried serious risk. He knew Hooker had nothing to lose. While he was defending his place as the top contender in the division, Arman said that one loss could knock him back several steps. And that's exactly why he came into UFC Qatar with even more focus and hunger to win. For him, this wasn't just about another victory. It was about protecting his position and proving that he deserves a shot at the very top.
This is like a kind of risky fight for me because I have something to lose, but for Hooker, nothing to lose. If he loses to me, he said, yeah, okay, I'll lose to #1 contender. But for me, it's 3 steps back. That's why I'm very motivated and ready to beat him.
And that wraps up our coverage of UFC Qatar. What an incredible night of fights and raw emotion from start to finish. The clash between Arman Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker reminded everyone why we love this sport. Pure heart, skill, and determination. What did you think of the fight? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive MMA updates, analysis, and fighter reactions.